We're going to take a look now at cameras. We've worked with the three orthographic cameras, the perspective camera that Maya presents. I've changed my layout here to say layouts, two panes, uh, three panes, split left. So I have a top, side view, and my perspective view. I'm going to create two cameras. I'm going to create just a regular camera. I'm going to go under create camera, just use the default camera. It's put the camera at 000, and as you can see, that's also fairly close to the center of my model. So I'm going to pull the camera back a little ways and give it a name. I'm going to say, let's call it camera only. Okay. If I go to my panel perspective, I can choose that camera. That's the view you see the camera seeing. Now, if I move the camera, you can see my subject goes out of view, right, as you'd imagine, because the camera is staying absolutely straight. It's pointing dead straight. And what I'm going to do real quickly is scale the camera larger and maybe even bigger than that. Okay, so we can see it easier. And then real quickly, I'm also going to go under display, wireframe color, and I'm going to pick a blue for it. So anytime we're looking at the demonstration, we can see that camera is our camera only. It has no other. And if I set it back to 0, translate back to 0. So 0 translate, and the y-axis puts it back at its origin where it was originally created. I can bring it out to here. Alright, now I'm going to create another camera now. This one, however, is going to be called camera and aim. Now, I made the other camera, I think 150, is that right? Yep. Alright, and let's name this camera. Actually, it's not the group we have to name. There's a camera inside the group. So when I made the camera and aim, you can see here in the outliner, it gave me a group. Inside that group is a camera and an aim, which is a locator. So a locator is an object. It doesn't render. It's essentially just an element to indicate a point that you can aim at. I can create locators from the create locator menu, and a lot of times in animation you'll do that. You'll create a locator and use it to constrain the direction that something is moving. In this case, the software has created the locator and had the camera and the locator in the same group, so it's created this relationship between the two of them. Okay, so I'm going to click on the camera and give it a name. Call it aim camera. Okay, I'm not sure why I called it C-aim. Aim camera. Now I'm going to change my panel perspective view this time to say aim camera. Okay, so you can see the camera's still right in the center. As I move this back in the z-axis again, okay, I'm pretty close to the other one. I don't want to be exactly on it so I can get to them. And again, just to help us differentiate the two, we'll go under display, wireframe color, and we'll make this camera and aim, we'll make it pink. Okay, so now I move the camera, but you notice the aim stayed behind, right? Because the camera and the aim are part of a group. So when I move one element of the group, the other members of the group remain where they are. I can move both members by moving the group, but if I want to instead just move the other members, I can move the members independently, which is what I've done here. The advantage is, you see we're looking through that aim, as I move that around, the camera keeps pointing at that aim. So if I go to my side view here, I'm not sure why I'm not seeing my cameras here. It says it's on. Let's see. It's not. It says it's on. Oh, there we go. No, it wasn't. There we go. Okay. So I go to my side view. You can see I can also use the y-axis, but again, I'm going to stay. The camera will stay pointing at that locator. So, and you can also see here where the camera, it's got these blue little box showing you that it's locked or constrained to something. It's not independent, it's rotation. And that's the relationship I was talking to. That, in other words, the camera is constrained to the locator. So it wants to keep pointing. Its rotation axis is constrained to the locator. So it always wants to keep pointing at that locator, so it will rotate in any one of these axes to try to maintain that relationship. Now if I change these two back to 0, the X and the Y, now the camera's back in the front, and I'll leave it where it is in the Z so it stays out front.